Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. Today we're gonna take a look at the two most recent blog posts from Fusion Systems. The one posted on the 1st of April and the one posted today on the 8th of April, where they're gonna showcase the next two divisions coming with the upcoming milestone. Two infantry-based divisions, two essentially mech divisions. The German one's called Motorisierte Division, but in wargame terms and gameplay terms, essentially mech divisions, right? Infantry divisions on either German side. Now, about the history, if you care about history, you can read this yourself. You don't need me for that. But what to expect in game? Well, tank type is going to be essentially the same, minus T-72s. Okay. Helicopters, though, I'm going to be a bit more beefed up. Now, compared to current East German, let's actually go into a deck menu. I think that's easier to showcase. We just do this. Currently, whoa, voice reveal, real voice reveal. No, currently East Germany gets two MI24Ds, MI24D and MI24P with 4 Kokons and 80 S8s and 4 Phalangas and 64 S5s and some MI8Ts. Now they're gonna be a bit more beefed up, the Moto division. They're gonna get MI24P with 8 Kokons, MI24D AA variant with R60s. Now the question is, what is gonna be replaced by the R60s rather? Is it gonna be the Phalangas? Is it gonna be the rocket pods? Right, if you see on the right the M24D, as Phalangas and rocket pods, what's gonna be replaced by the R60s? It's gonna be interesting to see. Hopefully the Phalangas, because they're not very good, although they have 17 AP now. I think they used to have 16. Or maybe this is just in the in the preview version. This is gonna be a segue here, but I'm currently actually on the preview build that has 2 new maps. Not much else, but 2 new maps. And for example, I think the Fuchs Fufu is new is German, or the Fuchs Rasit. But that is beside the point. There's not much other than 2 new maps really. Maybe some balance changes that I didn't know about. Anyway, enough of that. More MI8s as well, I guess, with the goof pods or guff pods. I assume those are these gun pods that we also see in Wargame and Dragon on the MI8 TKT, right? They kind of look like rocket pods from a bit further away, but they just house like a 30mm gun or something. I assume that's what they mean. And the Ghetto MI8TB, which we also know from Wargame, Malyutkas, S5s, and a 50 cal. I'll be honest, maybe with the exception of the AA MI24D, this is not particularly exciting. Like, it's a gunship with 8 instead of 4 Kokons. Woohoo! Like, yeah, I mean, there's only so much you can do, I'm not blaming Huge, but it's not really that exciting. Now, they're also gonna receive some LSTR 40, Luftschirmregiment 40, if you know them from Wargame. I don't think they're gonna be as powerful or as impactful as they are in Wargame. Wargame, they have the Vampire and Igla. And I really hope we're gonna see squads like this, but I'm gonna keep my expectations down low. They're gonna be Fallschirmjäger Führer, Fallschirmjäger, and Fallschirmjäger Metis variant. What the basic one has, I don't know, or we don't know. Führer is a CV. Whether this is gonna be like a full squad or not, I don't know. And there's a Metis variant. So that could be actually interesting. Maybe like in a full elite squad with Metis. Whereas, the Gonostraki. Oh no, it's not Gonostraki, right? It's Motostraki with Metis, the one in the tank division, the 79th. It's not particularly amazing. I guess it also comes down to the fact they only come in BMP once. And they're also gonna receive some Soviet help, I'm pretty certain. I don't think, because while this is Soviet units or MI8s and such, but I'm pretty sure this is not a unit that East Germany ever fielded. BM30 Smerch, which is presumably gonna be the, well, for one, biggest MRS so far in the game. I don't think there's gonna be anything that's gonna outshine it. At least not that I know of. Like there's, in Wargame there was a Mar 290 which had a bigger caliber, but it's also an Israeli unit. So I don't think there's gonna be, at least until Fusion delves into new nations with DLC or something, I don't think there's gonna be a bigger MLRS. In any case, it's a beefed up Urian whether it's gonna be Smurge, sorry, AP as in cluster or AG, we'll see. Some new planes, MiG-29s are gonna finally arrive. It's also gonna be interesting to see if it's, you know, for now only the 4th Motorisierte Division, or if the Soviets will receive it too, or if the 7th Panzer will also receive it. By the looks of it, they don't, because the only thing that gets mentioned is them receiving a new MiG-23ML, which I think is already in the game, and MiG-21 bis, and, you know, yada yada yada. Not really too interesting. And Eugene really says it themselves, right? How to best describe the 4th MSD is essentially 7th Panzer with worse tanks. Like, this kind of showcases my general issue with divisions, and for some people, depending on who you're asking, I'm beating on that horse. Other people are gonna be like, "Oh yes, so true." You know, I'm not gonna expect Eugene to change this at all, right? Even before they announced the game, or like before they went public with early access, they weren't gonna change this, right? I'm not expecting them to. It's a tough business decision, but I'll get back to this in a bit after we go over the Zweite Panzergrenadier Division. So, West German variant, West German Panzergrenz. They also mentioned that there's gonna be towed missiles, or like infantry missile systems, whatever. Gonna be interesting to see if we will also see proper Panzergrenz squads with Milans, because I don't think Milan. I'm not sure if this is a TOW or a Concourse launcher or a Fagot launcher, no idea. But I think if a Milan launcher didn't require as much setup. Actually, let me just Google that for a second. Yeah, I don't know, maybe it did. In any case, yeah, let's see what I got again. You know, if you care about this, you can of course read this for yourself. You don't need me to read this out loud. So, what to expect in game? Same tank tab. You get a couple of fewer. Oh my god, my voice. You get a couple fewer Leopard 2A3s. You still get them though. You get more Leopard 1A1A1s and Leopard 1A5s. I think there was 1A1 too many. So essentially, the same tank tab. And I guess minus the M48. You get no Roland Sam, at least for now. I've heard some people say that they should receive them. You know, we'll see at the end of the day. But at least for now, I guess the only A you have are Gepards and Red Eyes. Woohoo. Actually received some Belgian troops though. And with Belgian, I mean British stuff that got bought by the Belgians. We get Scimitar, Scorpion, Spartan, Sultan CV, Striker, DGM. So I guess it's something. And some British planes. Harriers, Tornadoes, and more Tornadoes. You know, planes. The thing with planes is at the end of the day, they typically don't have the same characteristics as different tanks have, right? If it's a Tornado with 5 cluster bombs or an F-16 with 5 cluster bombs, they're both very fast. They both have decent ECM. What's the actual difference, right? So at the end of the day, it's probably not gonna be too much different than, you know, another AG bomb or something. It's at the end of the day, it depends on the loadout, right? So, you know, I guess instead of the F-16 seat, we'll have a Tornado seat. Yeah. They're also gonna receive some airborne troops, Fallschirmjäger Führer and Fallschirmjäger. Maybe they receive the Panzerfaust 3. I heard that there might be some Panzerfaust 3s, we'll see. Maybe not. We'll have to wait and see. And that's already at Fuchsrasid, as you can see on the right. Nuriken also in the 5th Panzer Division. By the way, I do not have access to the upcoming divisions yet, right? You see that on the top of the screen. There's no new symbols. Yeah, but once again, what is the actual difference between the 5th Panzer Division and the 2nd Panzergrenadier Division, right? Kind of beating a dead horse here, but that's my issue with divisions. Or that's what I feared would happen with divisions. At the end of the day, of course, you know, I have to wait and see until I can play with these divisions, right? Maybe they're gonna play a lot different than I expected them, and that'd be great. But, you know, tank tab is the exact same. The tank tab here is the same but worse. It's not the same situation, for example, with the 8th Infantry Division and the 3rd Armored. If we look at those, right? Tank tab we have M1A1 and M2A2 Bradley and M1A1 HA. And the HA, in the 8th Infantry Division, we lose both the M2A2 and the HA, but we get a Kanonenpanzer, M6A3, and most importantly the M1 Abrams. Their tank plays completely different. Although this arguably also just, not arguably, but a big reason for that is just the M1 Abrams is a bit busted. But even before that, even before it was as busted as it is now, it was the key, or like, key unit. Now what we're gonna have is, from the sounds, is this division, you lose a card or two of the Leopard 2A3, you gain a card or two of the Leopard 1s. I guess you probably also lose the tanks Leopard 2A3 CV, not a huge issue. You lose this, but you, by the sounds of it, you're essentially gonna have, Panzergrens, Martyrs, and maybe instead of Jäger, you get Fallschirmjäger. Again, at the end of the day, they might play completely differently, but that's not what I was hoping for. And I guess the air type is gonna be anti-air type Fliegerfaust Gepard, right? Ooh, so much choice, so much deck building, great. Again, maybe I sound a bit sour, and to an extent, I guess I am. But it just kind of showcases the issues that I have. They didn't even mention anything about helicopters, right? I mean, transport helicopters, they mentioned UH-1s and the CH-53 for the Fallschirmjäger. But I don't think they mentioned anything new about, you don't get Lynxes from the Brits or whatever, or any helicopters from the Belgians. I guess they will just use both as well. I mean, it's all Germany had, I think. I guess they're also gonna have them. But yeah, it's just, I still hope that eventually Eugen maybe implements some kind of system that allows more customization, that makes divisions feel more unique. Because I think the two new divisions will play, especially the East German one, honestly, will play so similar. What do I already have? Because again, even the Soviet ones, right? Because right now, what is the actual difference? Not even right now, in general. What is the actual difference between these two divisions, right? In practicality, it's a T-80U and a BMP-3. That's it, right? Look at the infantry tabs. Look at the difference in the infantry tabs. One has Oddelenie Podersky. I'm sorry I butchered it, but what is the actual difference, right? That and transports. BMP-3, and you can, I think you get more BTR 60 BBs, right? Let's see. Yeah, you only get like one card of Modus Strike in a BMP and a BTR 60 BB, whereas the infantry division gets more. Okay, but like, what about the tank tab, right? You get MTLB and BMP-3, and you lose the T-80U and UK. And you lose the Storm. Wow. Like, that is not really... What about the Recon tab? Oh, one deck gets Spells and Screw, the other deck doesn't. What about anti-air? Oh, one deck gets Spear User, the other one doesn't. What about helicopters? That is a bit more, but at the end of the day, it's... Hold on. The 39th gets more MA24 variants. And one more MA8 variant. What about air tab? You lose a MiG-23ML, you lose Seed, and you lose a MiG-31. And one of the SU-25s? Like, you still get the SU-24M cluster. You still get the SU-24M HE. That is what I feared with divisions. Right? If it's all like 8th Infantry and 3rd Armored in terms of gameplay, that's basically the ideal scenario when it comes to divisions from the same country. And that's already not that amazing. Right? Because the actual infantry, if we ignore like, support by tanks, is also very similar with mech rifles and dragon squads and all that. And there's like no real easy way to fix this, right? Because Eugen, from before the game was officially announced, already set themselves, in the whole division thing. And they did it with Seal Division, and it worked out fine for them, right? And it's not like people hate them, right? There's a lot of people who also like it. I'm just talking about like my issues with it, right? I'm not saying this is a objective problem with the game. So how do you solve it? That's just no really quote-unquote solved it, right? Depends on like who you're asking if it really needs to be solved, of course. And there's just no easy way. I hope they're still gonna do something, because it's just... Look at the difference! Look at the difference! This is sad. Let's end this here before I ramble way too much, and I already have. If you watched this far, I hope you enjoyed it nonetheless, and I'll hopefully see you next time. Bye bye.